What's going on, y'all? So I decided to come out and sit by the water. Water tends to calm me. But I was sitting here thinking a moment ago, I was like, man, why is dating so challenging? And it made me wonder if dating was as challenging like when my grandparents were younger or when my parents were younger. Because, back then they didn't have social media and all the stuff that we have available now. And for me, I think I had to just sit back and think about it from the standpoint of course, times are different, but also it doesn't seem like people really want anything that has substance now. It kind of seems like people just prefer to hook up. Now, many of you know, because I've talked about it, that I do have a prosthetic leg. And my hands, here's one of my hands, and here's my other. It's been a very interesting journey as it relates to that. Oh, and just in case you guys can't see the leg, I'll take that off too, so you can see it. If I can get it. Let me see if I can change mine. So here's the leg. It has been through a little beating, so I have to get a new skin on it. But here's the leg. And so oftentimes when it comes to dating, I do tell about it. And when I tell them about it, oftentimes, y'all, I'm trying to fiddle with this leg and put it back on and stuff like that while I'm talking to you. But what I've noticed is oftentimes, I've been told, oh, it's okay. Like, I don't mind that. And I think it's a little odd sometimes because although they say that, it's not what they mean. And I think it's from the standpoint of not wanting to hurt my feelings. And I can handle it. I mean, I've been through worse. I definitely have been through worse. But I think for me, I would prefer someone just be honest and say what it is. And I've encountered that even with friendship. A lot of people I've come across, they didn't want to just come out and say, well, I don't know if you can do that. Or I don't know if you can do this. So because I don't know if you can do it, I don't want to hurt your feelings. I'm just not going to invite you. Or I'm just not going to hang around you or, whatever. There was one situation that I went through and someone said to me that they said they didn't want to date me because they would always feel sorry for me. And I thought it was a little weird. And then they followed that up with, but we can be friends. And so I said to them, I said, well, you know what? My friends don't feel sorry for me. So why would I want to date someone who feels sorry for me? I don't even feel sorry for myself. I find ways to make things happen. Sometimes it might take a little bit longer, but I figure it out. That's what life is about. You figure it out. You don't always have control over the cards that are dealt, but you figure out a way to make it work for you in the moment. And that's exactly what I've done. Thank God for my family. They've really pushed me to do so. My mom, my mom's mom, my mom's dad, they have been very instrumental in my childhood in making sure that I didn't feel sorry for myself and that I didn't beat myself up. But anyway, after that scenario, I encountered another one right after that. And I thought it was a little interesting. It did kind of hurt my feelings a little bit, I gotta be honest. But I thought the date went good. And in this situation, I actually forgot to mention anything about my leg because I thought things had gone really good. Or my hands for that matter, I forgot to mention it. And so once we got to the restaurant, talking and stuff like that, I could tell that it was obvious that there was some uncomfort there. It was so obvious. And so I opened up the floor for conversation to try to make sure that, whatever questions wanted to be asked. So things eventually kind of lightened up. At the end, it was said, let me know when you get home. This has been a great time, so on and so on. So cool. Got home, and then I received that text message. The text message said, and I think that it was meant to be sent to a friend, but the text message was sent to me instead. And it said, I just went on a date with this man who had no legs and no hands. I can't make this stuff up. Now, replace stuff with the explicative of the curse word. It threw me off a little bit. It threw me off a lot, actually. And I responded back to the text message saying that actually I do have hands and I do have legs. My hands or my legs may not look the way that the regular person's hands or legs look, but they're mine. I take ownership of them. I'm proud of them. It's a part of me. So what is there to be ashamed of? Anyway, I remember feeling so discouraged about that. I remember feeling unwanted, undesirable, feeling like it would never happen as far as like dating and marriage and kids and all that stuff. It took a minute for me to bounce back from that. I gotta be completely honest. It took a minute for me to bounce back because that kept playing in my mind. It kept going back to back, and I guess I was just trying to make myself understand why, I guess. Like why that was the response. Ultimately, I just got to a place where I said to myself, that just wasn't it. It wasn't it for me. That connection, that relationship wasn't it for me. I deserve better. I deserve to be connected with people that enjoy my energy, enjoy my presence, that are not embarrassed of my physical appearance. I've worked very hard to get over that aspect of my life. So why be around someone who doesn't appreciate it, doesn't appreciate what I bring to the table, or can't see past it? And I think a lot of times people forget that we're all human. And oftentimes the physicality, although I can see where some things matter, other things are not as big as they are made out to be. But I also think that perspective comes along with maturity. And I've had to grow in a lot of different areas as well. You know, as I told you, accepting myself. But even when it came to others and some of their differences, accepting them, I've grown a lot in patience. It depends on the situation. Sometimes I can be very direct, and other times, depending on the personality that I'm dealing with, I can kind of take my time to ease into it. What I'm getting at is, it's so important to accept yourself and to believe in who you are, so that someone else's narrative doesn't become your story. The moment that you make an agreement with someone else's narrative of who you are, you become that person. I chose not to be the person that the agreement was initially placed upon. It was my choice to reject it. And because I chose to, I didn't live in that space. I didn't continue to conduct my life in that space. And I'm actually still very hopeful to encounter and be a part of a healthy relationship that has mutual respect, integrity, honor, and so many other great characteristics. That is my hope. And I know that I'm going to have it. It's not something that I'm doubting. It's not something that I'm second guessing. I'm going to have it. And so I say that to you too. If you're single, or even if you're married, or in a relationship, don't settle for the crumbs and the tidbits that people give you. You deserve so much more. You've been called to greater. You've been called for greater. And your greatness is going to match you. So if you haven't purchased my book, I ask that you go ahead and scroll down in the comments. The name of my book is Be Real, Short Stories of a Survivor. I wrote it actually a few years ago. It's a guide. It became an Amazon bestseller. I filled that book with so many different stories of things that I overcame. Some of these stories I'm just going to tell you guys in the video. Other stories, I didn't put it in the book. So go ahead over to Amazon, check it out when you can. I would really appreciate it. Also, please go ahead and hit that like button and hit subscribe. And And then share this video with someone that you think needs to hear it. This message could be something that really does help someone and encourages them to be their best selves. Well, that's all I have for today. But until next time, remember to build your body, feed your spirit, and nourish your mind. You have a transformation to maintain. Until then, remember, it's Bricesin.